Welcome to episode 244 of Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home! That's right, Ken Kell making an appearance. No, I'm just kidding, Ken Kell's not here. Oh my God, we lied. Our viewership was cut in half with that explosive intro. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize if you're listening to the podcast and your car speakers just blew up. But we're excited. Mike, this was a hell of a day. We've been talking about draft picks and whatnot for such a long time. And we have our draft picks in. All of that wasted effort of trying to get to know player after player. And the Red Wings just went ahead and drafted the one guy that we were like, you know what? If we draft him, and that's what happened. And then we all fell in love with him like a second later. Yeah. And then it was like, okay, cool. All right. So we're all on board with Marco Kasper.
I got nervous. I got nervous on free agent day when we started with Marco Kasper, big signing. I'm like, oh no, this is what teams who aren't going to do anything in free agency do. They're like, yeah, we signed a big draft pick today. We did the inevitable. Yeah. And then Yzerman signed every single free agent that was out there, man. My God.
I had
Boy,
the thought,
a big day.
Yeah, I had the thought at one point where it was like, did Steve pull did he pull the trigger too early? Did anybody else get the memo? Oh yeah, everybody's calling out Jared. Matt, you moving? Yes. It's either I was robbed or I'm moving. I am moving closer to the Detroit area so I can see all you beautiful people more often at Little Caesars Arena. I have a feeling
David Perron also moving closer. Yeah.
I have a feeling the Red Wings got some sort of data because they started contacting more about getting season tickets after I started looking for a new house, and I've just been ignoring the calls. Brennis, what's going on? Curtis throws out there, Matt literally sold the farm to help Stevie Y reel in 5 big fish. The things I'm willing to do for this team. Jared says, holy crap, Mike is loud. I thought I was loud.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Let me set that back to 3. My apologies, Jared.
Whoops.
Yeah, let me know if it's still coming in hot.
Yeah, make sure you have the right brother too, because I thought I was yelling pretty hot. Ketzel's aboard. What's going on? He looked at Johnny Hockey and decided I can make 5 deals for that. Now I will get into it, but the longer this day went on, the longer I just fell in love with each additional move. I think it's pretty fair to say if we walked out of today with just an Andrew Copp, that would be fine for us to be like, I guess it happened. It's not like you look at it and say, it's a bad move, but it's not anything where you blow your load over. But all of these moves together, I think, say a lot. And we are going to talk about it. So I hope everybody sticks along. And where is it, Michael Script? This is kind of where my head's at. For you podcast listeners, Michael Script throws out there, big trade coming. Mike, when you take a look at that cap-friendly depth chart, that's a full roster and then some. So there's something that was taken into account. Some future move that was, if it is one of the guys we picked up today, and it was one of those, when we picked up the Nemestikov, and we were like, well, for sure, we're going to keep the Nemestikov up until that point the juicy trade comes through, and then he's gone at the trade deadline, which of course happened last year. So that could be one of our current guys, or one of our fresh guys, I should say. Obviously, they're all current. One of our new guys, or just a couple of guys with 1 year left. We might want to take a peek at. Chewy thrown in there, and no! This might be in reference to my Marco Kasper, where initially I was like, what? So this was us looking at draft picks, right, for such a long time. And I think we want to jump into free agency because that's fresh.
Yeah, let's save the draft for the end.
But
let's talk about the deals for sure.
Yeah, just because I brought up Chewy's comment. I think that's what this was. And I think we pretty much summed up every guy we talked about was like, if Steve gets him, I'm going to be very excited about it. But it wasn't one of those things where I think any one guy stood apart. So I could get like too excited in one direction or another. So I think that's probably where, Mike, we're both pro wrestling fans. When we watch the ending play out that we all knew was going to happen, but then pro wrestling pretends like it's a fake out, like it's a swerve, but we all knew it was coming. That's probably the most disappointing pro wrestling is, right? So I kind of feel like we were a month before the draft and the articles came out for like, ooh, are the Red Wings, are they showing their hand? Is Marco Kasper the guy? And then it was Marco Kasper, and it was like, well, yeah, we knew. So it's like, this isn't.
Yeah, I do feel a little guilty for not placing him in my picks, nor what I thought the Red Wings were going to do. I was a big offer on that one. But I mean, there are some guys that we did snag today, Matt. We got to talk Andrew Copp.
No, you're right. Andrew Copp coming in from Ann Arbor. Of course, getting, he threw out today, I was captain to Dylan, and now Dylan is my captain. I read, what was funny is I did not see the interview, but I read that, and I read it with just for fun. Just for fun, I read it with like, no, he's my captain. You know, like a little bit of hate in it, like he's jealous now. But clearly, that's not the case.
Yeah, we got a little Guardians of the Galaxy right now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's paid enough.
Little Star-Lord and Thor. I'm really excited to see this. Who takes over the ship? But yeah, Matt, are you excited for this Andrew Copp signing? Did you like when he was quickly replaced by Trocheck in New York? Do you think that we got the better of the two guys? Because I definitely feel like we got the better of the two deals. 5 years instead of 7.
Yeah, can you roll out? Do you know what that Trocheck deal was off the top of your head? I don't have that information.
I think the average annual value was close. I know it was 7 years for sure, but I can pull that figure for you while you're talking, Andrew.
Well, for me, I think for anybody watching on YouTube right now, you can see the J Fresh
39, by the way. Yeah. 39 over 7 years.
Oh, okay. I was like, you can't do 39 in 1 year. I think the number you'd want to point out here, and this is where this is really going to make the difference here when you pull in a Copp. And we were talking about Andrew Copp maybe a couple of months ago, and I think we kept coming up with all of the different free agents that were available. And I think what happened today was pretty much what we asked for. We were like, any one single guy that we picked up today, if that was your haul from free agency, doesn't turn heads. But when you pick up all of these guys collectively, and of course we're talking about Copp right now, I think that's where the excitement can start to roll in, because you're thinking, all right, Andrew Copp, two-way forward. I think we're gonna have him roll through on center. As we see Jay Fresh here has him listed as left wing, right wing, and center. He played first line center minutes. But what I want to point out is the PK ranking here, Mike. Arguably, according to Jay Fresh, one of your best PK players in the league, which is crazy. Top 50% in power play. So when this guy's out there on special teams, it's efficient. And I think what we're going to keep coming back to with some of these guys is the difference that we're going to be able to see on special teams. How many games, Mike, did we look at the statistics? And sure, we got absolutely lunched a few times. And again, collectively, all these decisions today are going to help move us in the right direction. But it was always special teams. We could come back. You could do a game by game, like, what do the Red Wings need to make sure happens tonight? And you could just every game say, power play and penalty kill. If those are complete dog shit again, we're going to get destroyed. And I feel like we all kind of knew that. I feel like Steve kind of looked at that as the number one priority and said that those are the problems we're going to solve. And as we continue to go through this list here, but it's a good start with Andrew Copp. And I think there's the wonderful storylines of the Michigan ties, the Dylan Larkin ties. I think the 5 years, 5.625, like you mentioned, Mike, it's not going to hurt. if you're talking about a top 6 guy in the $5 million range, got plenty of space to add for Dylan. You got plenty of space to add for Lucas. Got plenty of space to add for Mo. This isn't necessarily for me. I saw some people talking about the 5 years on this, and then that's going to be right in range where this starts to hurt. But don't forget, like the salary cap's going to start to increase too. I think this is perfect. I think once the salary cap, the dead, what do we call this? Frozen cap, dead cap. What do we call this? Somebody can help me out in the comments. I'm just going to keep looking. Once that dam is broken and there's the release, this $5.625 million is going to feel like nothing, and that's going to be at that 4th and 5th year. So yeah, I think we've got a winner of a contract here, and if this works out and this guy makes the difference that we hope to see in our top 6, gravy on top of it. We do have a ton of comments coming in. I got to move up all the way to the beginning of the show. Jared throws out there, Mike, that your microphone was good.
Yeah, I did see that.
Couple more big moves Curtis throws out there, and hell, I might move back home from Los Angeles. All right, Curtis, I'll save a house next door, so we can just get this all worked out. Chewy, I know, he's in my city right now. He's in Howell, and both me and my wife are going to be working closer to downtown, so it's just we got to make that move. Ace Fishing throwing out there a couple, it's mentioned in previous years, but can I say it's been mentioned in previous years. This year it means a little bit more. What Ace Fishing is throwing out there is that I loved how they said when Steve Yzerman calls, you listen. And like I said, and I think we've already talked about this in previous episodes, and Mike, I swear to God, I'm going to give you a chance to speak here in a second. But
I appreciate that.
I mean, with the list of dudes we're talking about today and the amount of times we've heard that comment made, I feel like we could be a little bit more excited about that comment today than in past years. It's not to say that there aren't issues with the guys that we did pick up or things to call out, which we will. But I mean, come on, when you've got Ben Chiarot and Andrew Copp making those comments as opposed to where we have seen those comments come from the last few years, this means a little bit more.
Yeah. Can I say that
no,
it's a card that I'm glad we're seeing be played, because let me do one quick thing here. I'm going to turn my light on in a second. I really hated that when the offseason would roll around, people would say, oh, you get to come back to an original 6 team. Oh, a team with a long legacy of winning. Look at the historical ties to the Detroit Red Wings. And it felt like that just kind of rang hollow, because that just means that the team used to be good. These guys are interested in winning now. I mean, definitely there's guys who, when they've played long enough, they want to get their bag of money. But I don't think that these signings occur if Yzerman is not at the helm, if Yzerman draft picks are not panning out, if Yzerman draft picks are not winning the Calder or being the runner-up for the Calder. These guys did say when Yzerman calls, you listen, and it's because he's not just, a Stanley Cup winner as a player. He put together one of the great, dynasties in Florida, in Tampa, and now it looks like his draft picks are coming to fruition in Detroit. That he's built a legit first line. That this is a product that you can be excited about. So it's not just hanging on to these, lifelines that the Red Wings used to be good. No, it's now they're run by a guy who knows what he's doing. So when Steve Yzerman calls, yeah, he did give you some memories as a kid, but he's also building a pretty good team. So I think that has much more to do with these guys and this day than anything else.
Ketzel thrown out there when we were asking for the amount of years, the 7 years, same amount. Everybody was throwing that out there. Curtis, Brennis, thank you guys. I did see mention here. I wanted to bring this up real quick. Johnny Gaudreau over to Columbus. Danimals throws out a what the fuck. I do think this is good for hockey. I feel like Columbus was in a spot where it was like, what are we even doing here?
Yeah, he's a big fan of Cedar Point. You can't blame him for that.
I think he's still got to drive though, right? With Columbus. But still, no, I think this is good for hockey because there are so many guys that would come through Columbus and just bounce. So I think Johnny could be maybe we were talking about the dam being broken and the floodgates being open, but I'm hoping Columbus gets
Johnny roller coaster, baby.
Yeah. Ashton is also excited about that PK for our boy Copp.
Yep.
Oh man, Curtis he's got it. 7 years, $9.8 million per for Johnny Hockey. That's crazy. I would have thought we were talking a double-digit number, like for sure. Like to see that Columbus got him for under.
Because the rumors were that there were offers for over 10.
Yeah. Now, Jared throws out there, sad to see Stahl go. Hope his brother makes the team down in Florida. Of course, the two Stahl brothers
signed both of them, right?
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool, but I think this is as good a point as any is to bring up our two new left side defensemen, and we're starting with if it'll pop up on the damn screen, Olli Maatta.
I'm glad you're starting with Olli because I have some questions about the other one.
Yeah. I know you did send me a message. Not too excited about the Jay Fresh.
A little cautious about that, but yeah, let's talk Olli first.
28-year-old gets third pair defense ice time. I think we could be looking at a defensive pair for Gustav Lindstrom. Not going to hurt to have Lindstrom playing with a 28-year-old. And again, this is a guy. When you look at Gustav too, like you're trying to line up the defensive pairings for the PK. We always said Gustav Lindstrom comes out. Couple of years now, solid numbers for the PK. And Olli's going to kind of, I would say, mirror him with even strength defense, but we do see some better numbers from an even strength offense perspective for Gustav. So this might be something. Maybe these two will balance each other out. So some of the weaknesses that Olli's coming in with will be figured out. And really, some of the weaknesses for Gustav are just experience. And I'd say, this is an upgrade. We were just talking about Stahl. We're talking about DeKaiser. I mean, these are, and I say two guys. So we haven't brought up Ben yet, but I think these are two guys that are essentially upgrading this team. And if you want to look at the top six and just compare, even though he's not leaving the team, but Puce to Andrew Copp, clearly an upgrade. And that's where, when we talk about all these free agents coming in, we're not really going one for one. We're not playing the Steve Yzerman Mike. What did Steve Yzerman used to do with free agency?
Nothing?
Ice a team.
Oh, ice a team.
He used to say you got to ice a team. So that's what free agency was all about. It was about bringing in the guys with some solid analytics, but ultimately it wasn't like that signing that was going to change this team to being a Stanley Cup contender. Does Olli do that? No. But for sure, we're making upgrades across the board, in my opinion.
I would say I think we want to bring up the Jay Fresh for Olli because he's not necessarily a guy with the digestible scoring numbers, right? He did have them a little bit more when he played in Pittsburgh, so maybe the thought is maybe I know you said Lindstrom, but maybe if he does get some shifts with our boy Seider, maybe he does start getting some more points, a little bit like he did with Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. But this definitely looks like Yzerman got tired of losing games 11-2. So at least these couple signings here that we've talked about are about strengthening special teams, about strengthening the penalty kill, about getting defense first players. And you got to be pretty excited about wins above replacement of 70% for a guy who's going to be on your third pairing. So it's pretty promising.
And this is also as easy as it gets. Like when we talk about flexibility wise, $2.25 million for 1 year. And one of the things we'll bring up later, so we'll come back to this. But I mean, I brought up the depth chart on Cap Friendly. Hasn't figured in a name like Simon Edmondson yet. And yet we have a full team plus some. So something to think about as we roll into the season. If Edmondson's going to pull a half Moritz Seider and at least make this team, maybe he doesn't need to win the Calder, but play well enough to make this a solid, create a solid second pair. You've got some flexibility with the Maatta contract for
sure. Like we saw last year at the Red Wings, right? They could be almost a fringe playoff team if every single player was healthy and they were playing at home.
Right.
So now it kind of feels like, we're actually going to have a little bit of depth on this roster. So, if 1 or 2 guys or 3 guys or 4 guys go down, it's not a bleak affair where you just change the channel and we tumble down the standings. Now it looks like there's a little bit of a contingency plan, especially for these guys who fit under what Yzerman's trying to do, which is bulk up and hit the other team in the face.
I got to throw out there, Eric is aboard. Eric Johnson, of course, with the high guy.
Hi, guys. Eric.
Ace Fishing throws out there, every new draft pick mentioned the original 6 and 11 Cups. So there was a little bit of the old school going on there. But I do think some of that is they do get coached up to like, what are the Red Wings fans going to want to hear? I like Danimal's point here as we continue to roll through all these signings, and then we'll roll into the next one. But Yzerman likely had to prove to Larkin that he's going to start helping him out. And honestly, I mean, yeah, we're going to eventually take a look at this cap friendly page in a second here. And when you talk about the names that are going to need a new contract, of course, Dylan is one of those names. And I believe the conversations can begin now, or at least if he wanted to, he could go ahead and sign that extension. I don't know.
Is this what Larkin was waiting for before he signed an extension? Was he tired of being Moira Rose on Schitt's Creek? I just finished crying myself to sleep.
Can I say, and I got to thank everybody for tuning in. If you guys do have a second, hit that like button, but go ahead and, let us know what you guys are thinking on this. I don't think Dylan needed this. I think he's bought in. I think he's all in on the Yzer plan and the Detroit Red Wings.
Maybe we just want it on his behalf.
I think a part of it is just Yzerman needs to do right by himself and by Dylan. Like this we've been getting DMs today, Mike, on Twitter about making jokes. And I will say, I don't agree with this, but making jokes about how long the rebuild was going to go. And Yzerman says he's the most patient guy in the room. Mike, I think you and we've been having a lot of fun here. I think we might be tied for first with Steve Yzerman. We'll be patient as hell. We were asking for losing seasons to try and get as good a draft pick as possible. But I feel like Dylan is in on that too. Now I can't, I guess I'm speaking to a man's character and I've never met the guy himself, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know if Dylan needed this to like, maybe it is just about like massaging the contract numbers. Maybe it's about like, look, these are the moves we want to make. We want to make even better moves. You're important to us. So here's the lengthy 8 years coming up. And I do think Dylan is going to be one of those guys that you're talking about the 8-year extension. I heard earlier today on another podcast that said you save it for the Sidney Crosbys, but I think Dylan Larkin is at that point. I think he's going to be that important for the Red Wings that he gets that 8-year conversation.
Oh, without a doubt. I don't think anyone would complain about that specific 8-year deal.
So maybe it's about negotiation. Maybe it's about, look what I did for you this year. You give me space next year. You give me space when this cap starts to open up. We put that old, at the time, 33-year-old piece of crap Andrew Copp down on the 4th line, and I'm going to give you a star second line. No, I'm kidding. I'm super stoked about Andrew Copp, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is part of that. Like, maybe it's not what Dylan needed to do the re-sign, but maybe this is about cutting some dollars off of that. Is that? Because again, I'm judging Dylan right now. I'm making like a character judgment right now, right?
No, I won't go that far. I think that this was just we've got a team that you showed me glimpses last year, and we saw what a difference adding 1 or 2 players can do, namely rookies. So now if we can establish, put some established veterans in there, which is definitely what today was all about. I think you're almost proving it to yourself, proving it to the fan base. And, I got to think Yzerman's starting to say, like, let's line them up, because I think my picks are about to start, blossoming, and maybe not a good playoff, maybe not a playoff series win this year, but maybe, an actual on the fringe come the last day of the season, maybe actually squeak in, and then maybe next year, the following season, we could be a playoff team. That's what today felt like.
Ketzel throws on there. We are wild card at least this year. Big statement
Yeah,
at the very least.
It does feel like that when you look at what that second line is going to be with Perron, Copp, and
oh yeah, we haven't gotten to Perron yet. I could fast forward here.
Yeah, we got to get through him too.
All right, well let's go back because I wanted to kind of bring the conversation to Ben Chiarot and of course Olli Maatta. Some serious upgrades, I feel like, on the left side of the defense. We were just talking about Danny DeKeyser. I will throw in there. Dan B asks, did DeKeyser actually get signed by Dallas? I don't know. Mike, do you want to check on that while we start to sum this up?
On it.
But then Mark Stahl makes the move as well. So it is a couple of guys that get a ton of minutes on the left side. And Mike, I know what we're going to show here in a second for Ben Chiarot isn't the most glowing looking chart we've ever seen. But got to remember how much time was with Montreal, who had one of, you're talking one of the worst seasons. A good chunk was just god awful before they got their new head coach. And Ben had to play through that, and still pretty good even strength offense numbers. And if I had to fantasy book this right now without any more changes to this team, you got to think Ben's playing with Mo Seider. And you got to think a lot of this stuff. I mean, you see the even strength numbers. And again, this is 3 years. This isn't just 1 year. This is 3 years on the right-hand side. If you guys are watching on YouTube, 13% even strength defense. Mike, you called it out just a second ago. 8% projected WAR percentage for Ben Chiarot. I have to throw out there too, Mike, to be completely fair. When we were talking trade deadline, I was making fun of Florida for picking up Ben Chiarot. Because I said there's nothing about Ben Chiarot that required the amount of value they gave up for him. But Ben heads over to Florida. Everything kind of turns around. So I think if you put Ben in a better situation, you're playing with a Mo Seider. And for our boys in the chat, Ketzel's getting his way and we're making it to the playoffs. That's a much better situation, of course, than what Ben was subjected to in Montreal. And not
so
only,
can I give you a scary comparison for what you just did? So we're saying that Chiarot played a lot better when he goes to a better team like Florida. Mm-hmm. And he played like doo-doo when he was on Montreal. And he's not a scorer, right? He's trying to be a more physical defenseman. Matt, is this going to be a Nick Leddy situation? Obviously he's choosing to come to Detroit. So I got to think his attitude's going to be better now that he's coming here. But are we saying that it was just like a product of the environment with Chiarot? Because we're basically what we're going to be doing is wiping out statistically what he's done. With like the top level stuff, we're wiping out Jay Fresh, and we're just going to take that small sample size with a really high performing team in Florida and say this is what we're getting.
I think also you have to take into consideration. I mean, you needed a veteran presence too to be playing with Seider. So I think there's a huge element to that as well. But this is a cheaper contract if you want to do it this way, Mike. We saw that Olli Maatta when he's on the ice, he does a lot more for his team than he gives up. If you want to do Ben Chiarot and Danny DeKeyser, Ben Chiarot's going to walk away with the better WAR percentage and the cheaper contract. So either way, if you want to build it up that way and go Mark Stahl for Olli Maatta and Danny DeKeyser for Ben Chiarot, it's still an upgrade, albeit through advanced analytics, it says it's pretty close for Benny Boy. But I still say that it's fair to assess a guy's performance based on how shitty a team is and how much better it gets or looks when he's in a better situation. I think that's fair. And this is his choice. So this is his choice to come aboard. And this isn't Nick Leddy getting traded. Like, don't forget about that. Like, this is Ben coming aboard with the Yzer plan. So I think that's completely it's so much different. Tristan throws out there, Chiarot crushes people. I think I'm finally catching up in the comments, by the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know there's a lot of Red Wing fans around here who are going to be very excited to see a physical guy out there. Hopefully he doesn't take silly penalties. So we have to see more of our penalty kill out there. Andrew Copp, God bless you. So I guess my question is, if we're going to basically ignore the statistics that he's had for the past couple years, and we're going to ignore some deep cut analytics, compliments of Jay Fresh, what do you think made Yzerman say this is the guy we need for 4 years, $4 million when he's already 31 years old?
I think I nailed it. I think I came up with the, like we're measuring
just basically what he did with Florida.
I'm too loud. I'm keeping the kids awake.
Oh.
I think no. It's the combination of Florida. You're getting some veteran leadership, and you know what? The left side defense pool in free agency, wasn't that great. So you need to fill out the left side, and I think upgrade wise, this was an easy side to upgrade, and maybe it calls into question that you had to pay a longer contract, right? You're going to have to pay a little bit more in a longer contract. It's still a discount compared to Danny DeKeyser, but that's what you got to do with free agency. Like, you're solving problems. You needed to fill out the left side of the defense, and you've seen Ben Chiarot play out of his mind in the playoffs when he helped get Montreal, to the Stanley Cup Finals, and then things don't go great in Montreal. He gets moved to Florida, and things kind of get turned back on again. So it's like, he's learning how to be a horse again. I get what you're saying. Is it fair to erase that stuff? No, and we're not. But when you talk about what you need to give up to fill some holes,
do you think
specifically
he just
in free agency,
does he just have a better agent than Olli Maatta then? Who has a higher ceiling for goal scoring and a better WAR? And he's making two times as much as him with 4 years his senior.
You can come back to Tristan's comment about crushing guys. This is a guy who's playing a specific game that you need to look for. And we saw guys mess it up Mo Seider all last season. We saw guys messing up Lucas Raymond. And now Ben Chiarot's going to be out there. I don't know. I was going to say collecting ears, but I didn't know if that was like a well-known enough reference. Never mind.
What reference is that? I know it.
I can't remember myself.
You don't know your own.
No, I did it. No, I did it. I did the dumb thing. No, I referenced the thing. I don't even remember myself. All right, I'm a fucking idiot. But anyway, he's collecting heads. Is that better? But anyway, you've got your guy to protect. You've got a veteran presence now. I think it's just about the price you pay to solve these problems in free agency, and I am, again, with the collective decisions, okay with everything that happened. I got to think, for anybody that's tuning in right now, Mike, we broke the 100 viewer threshold. I really appreciate it. If you guys have a second, just go ahead and hit that like button, but keep letting us know what you think about today's
we got a few more comments too. Yeah, this
is great. I love you guys. Johnny P's aboard. Johnny P. Oh, what am I saying? It's performance art. I see some trade deadline, trade bait here. I see it here, and I see it on our Cap Friendly page with some of the guys already on the team. Jared thrown out there. This is something to think about. Fabry is on his third ACL tear. Love what he does on the ice, but he's not on the ice enough. Mike, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I said I had like an aha moment, which you shouldn't do this for the players that are on your team. The aha moment was, oh my God, I forgot Fabry was on the roster.
That's, we mentioned it like a couple minutes ago that it felt like if, in years past, if Fabry was hurt, my God, I guess we're just not going to score today. And now it's like, we'll figure it out. He would have been on the fourth line anyway. Like now the depth is actually starting to like come to fruition. So it's, I'm going to be excited when Fabry comes back, but it's not a desperate, pleading gesture to the gods. Please, bring Fabry back. It's like, no, come back when you're ready. We got a lot of guys who can play that spot.
Tom throwing out there, Fabry is a big question mark. I think that's true. Danimals, I'm on the fence with Chiarot. I will wait and see.
I think that what he's going to do is he's going to endear us probably on his first check in game one. and he will quickly become one of the favorites.
Can I say Dan B thrown out there, and this is kind of where my head was at. I think the cost here was the term. But top 4 defensemen historically cost a premium in free agency. Dan B, I'm right there with you.
Can I say his role?
That's where we're punished.
Do you think his role kind of played into how his numbers are? Like maybe as a top, like as the number 1 defenseman, he's miscast. But could he be like an A or a B plus? Second or third or fourth defenseman.
I mean, Mike, San Jose today was moving Brent Burns, with one of their 2 defensemen that last year they were paying double-digit numbers. We don't have anybody on this team making double-digit money. Ben Chiarot's $4.75 million is not going to kill us. It is not going to kill us. Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson on the Sharks, that kills you. We are not being killed by this 4.75. And how old is Brent Burns? What is he, like 1,000
he's
at this
old.
point?
Yeah, he's I think 37 now.
Right.
He's Chiarot plus 6.
Right. And that, like, Chiarot's contract will be up by the time he's in.
He's the end of Chiarot's contract plus 3 years.
So I think
so put it in perspective.
Curtis, I love you. It's a Wingdings party tonight, baby. That's why I came in hot. All right, that's why I blew out all your speakers.
We got to get into another former St. Louis Blue now joining the winged wheel here, Matt. You got Perron queued up for us?
Do I? No.
Oh no! Oh no!
There he is. Oh, and I hit remove instead of add. David Perron, Mike. Oh my God. So my stupid screen. It says 2-year contract and then the dollar amount, Mike. Can you read that? Because my screen is tied up with the details.
Average annual value. Yeah.
It just says slide 8 out right over the dollar amount. But yeah, David Perron, 4.75, 2-year contract. I can't
believe Perron is going to be on the other side of the ice of Verona. This is insane.
I look at these numbers, Mike, for the first time in this show's existence. So we are moving into our 4th season of Red Wings Rant, which is crazy, by the way. Congratulations to us. Mike, we're gonna have two fucking power plays.
Do you want to feel crazy?
Crazy?
While you're driving around today or tomorrow, just turn on local radio and listen to the calls about people saying these are marginal signings at best. What is Steve doing? Listen, I don't know how many times I could say this. We've seen what 1 or 2 players could do to an NHL team. We added 2 rookies, and we were a 500 team. Now we're adding legit NHL veterans to these what are seemingly superstar, sophomore players. Right. It's insanity how close we are to being competent, like a very good team. And David Perron is so excited to be here. This is like a perfect signing. He's got a very reasonable contract. He's a very good scorer. And he's there to be on the second fucking line with Verona. He's not even there to be the top dog. He's there to be the 5th dog.
Think about what we subtracted to get to this point, Mike. Danny DeKeyser, Mark Stahl. We loved Vladdy Nemestikov, but clearly we've upgraded to this point.
Yeah.
And what's amazing too? We are going to talk about this. So I know, Mike, you have to leave at 8:00, so we got to move a little bit faster.
I got a little time. I could stay until 8:20ish. All right, here we go.
All right, but think about in the depth chart we've talked about on Cap Friendly, which we still haven't gotten into. Hasn't figured in a Berggren. Hasn't figured in an almost all season player, Joe Veleno, and Mike. Soderblom's coming over to North America.
Oh, Elmer Soderblom. He's coming. Don't you all worry, Elmer Soderblom.
I do love, by the way, Philip Di Patrizio. Philip, I love your last name. I love how many people are coming aboard to call out the Red Wings are going to be making the playoffs this season. But again, coming back to that point, Mike, I mean, oh my God, I'm going to get flustered here in a second, but thinking about how we filled out this roster, and there's still so much space for potential to continue to fill this out. And if there's issues, if there's injuries, Mike, oh my God, if there's a fucking injury, we can fill out the roster. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we can call up a prospect. We can call up a prospect for a cup of coffee and not lean on him to carry the team for 82 games.
Oh my God.
We're like a real NHL team now.
Yeah, this is insane. I I mean, another thing we brought up, like how happy we were with a Jake Wallman, but clearly we've upgraded beyond Jake Wallman. But of course, if he wants to earn a spot, all the power to him. But even through all the defensive signings we've mentioned, the roster we've mentioned, we still haven't figured in a spot for Simon Edvinsson. Or who else is coming over to North America? Albert Johansson. Mike, there's so much fucking potential this year. Okay. We're getting too excited. We're talking about David Perron. Power play. Here we go. Bango, bango. I mean, I'm getting way too excited. I do need to pull back. This is free agency day. This is the day to be excited. And then as we move forward and we see guys getting into penalty trouble or, we see just missed shots, then we'll get angry. But I mean, this is a guy who ranks David Perron. He gets an 84% projected WAR percentage for the Wingdings heading into this next season. So this is all of our data collected over the last 3 seasons for Perron. And look at his WAR percentile rank, Mike. It just continues to go up as he goes into age 34. This is a guy that's learning how to use David Perron and his body and his age better as he moves forward. And of course, that's because he's getting to know who the power play version of David Perron is even better, because the way that he plays the power play is all about using that noggin. So the older that's why this 34-year-old signing for 2 years is so fucking perfect, because this is that space. That's where this guy's using his noggin to have all of this success. He's using his body to have all of this success, and it's not going to change. We're not picking up a guy that's completely reliant on speed at this age. This is a veteran signing that you love to see. And as we keep seeing guys rolling through that are going to need to learn how to use their body. Of course, nobody compares to Soderblom's size, but they're going to have to use their body to be successful on the power play. Oh, man.
I know. This is a guy doing, I think 0.68 points a game. Pretty sexy. And since age 29 season, he was in Vegas, 66 points, and then going forward, 46, but only in 57 games, 60 points, 58, 57. So I feel pretty good about him getting about 60 points, even as he gets, into his 30s, into the twilight, because like you said, he's making a lot of smart plays. But again, I mean, we just need somebody competent on the other side of Verana, a playmaker, and that's what we're getting.
I do have to throw out there, Curtis, thank you so much. 200 watching live. Let's go. Hit that thumbs up. Come on, guys. If you do have a second, just hit the thumbs up. We're going to help Red Wings Rant grow a little bit tonight. Danimals, thank you so much. Jake Kiefer thrown out there.
Oh, Jake. Oh, man, whisper Jake. Those sweet nothings, my friend.
Now, there's another mention here, the Blues. Hockey Fox throws out there. Blues took Grice. Of course, a 1-for-1 trade, Mike. The Red Wings are going to get Ville Husso.
Kind of a baffling decision there. I don't know what they saw from our beloved Grice to make him do 3 years, let alone 1 year. But
Well, I thought
teach their own.
I thought this was important because it is going to be tough to move a goalie and hope that everything translates, right? I mean, you're talking about a team that's built differently. So, of course, the Red Wings were like, let's bring over as many Blues as possible. But anyway, to take this more seriously, I think you and I walked away from this season. We're very happy with Nedeljkovic. So I think what you're seeing here is just anything not to be worried about with Ville Husso. I think, yes, for me, goaltending is so erratic year to year.
I know, but you know what Ville's going to be able to do that Grice couldn't do? Yeah. If Nedeljkovic happened to have a bad game and we had to pull him, we're not going to have to bring him back in because the backup goalie is so incompetent. That's what we've eliminated with this major upgrade.
Which St. Louis saw that and was like, nailed it. That's what we need. We need to solidify a starting position here for Binnington. We can't have anybody questioning Binnington. Get Grice out there to show him what a real backup goaltender looks like.
You can't. It almost doesn't happen in any other sport. What happened? We pull the goalie, then we pull him, then we pull him again. Like, not in baseball. That's illegal. You're out of the game if you get pulled. That's right. It. That guy's batting. He's taking your spot on the field. Football, I don't know. Doesn't happen in basketball. You can't go past the 15th guy on the bench. We ran out of players. So I don't know. Somehow the Red Wings, at least that problem is gone now with Husso.
Yeah. Thanks again for everybody hitting the like button. Jared Shaw throwing out there. The St. Louis subreddit is on fire right now. Dan
With
B,
envy,
of course,
I imagine.
right on board.
Dan B, my man.
Hockey Fox having a good time. Ketzel thrown out there. We have 2 40-game goalies for once.
Can I say, Ketzel, too, that it feels like with Nedeljkovic, we're giving him a Seabiscuit situation where he's got real competition, and I think he's a guy that needs that.
Yeah, I want to come back to these numbers where I'm comparing. I'm going to say quote unquote comparing Nedeljkovic and Husso. So I don't really want to look at this as a comparison between these two guys. To be completely honest, that's not why I brought this up here. I think really this is just something where we're looking at some super reasonable contracts. We're not getting in the realm too higher contracts like you talk about your Vegas Golden Knights that got into a lot of trouble. This is going to be a situation where you've seen some guys that had some success. You're still in that realm of getting them to sign a somewhat reasonable salary cap number, very reasonable, I would say, expiration date on those contracts. And we already talked about like turning things over to Kosa at some point if that does become our goalie of the future, which again, I've given away how much I trust goalies year to year. So yeah, we'll cross my fingers on that and just hope that we landed our Vasilevsky. But if that's not the case, Mike, I do believe that this is the absolute best way to do your goaltending year by year. And that comes back to the conversation of how up and down things can be. And, we talked about before, how do you, if you're checking off boxes, right, to become the Tampa Bay Lightning, that's fine. We can keep doing that. Maybe Marco Kasper is going to be, our Braden Point, or I don't know, maybe Dylan Larkin's the Braden Point, and we find out Kasper's even better. Whatever the situation is, right? It's still incredibly hard to find all these guys, and it's even more hard. It's more difficult to find a Vasilevsky who is putting himself on the Mount Rushmore of all-time goalies. That's 4 goalies all time. I challenge you to tell me that they're, I don't know, you're putting him 5th or worse. At this point, Vasilevsky, I don't know, he's carving himself up there. So I'm just saying, it's really hard to find the Vasilevsky. So I think if you're going to play this game, you can go year by year. Maybe Nedeljkovic had his off year last year, and things are going to turn around. This is what do we say? We always said when he was looking good, he was just being Alex Nedeljkovic. When things were going bad, he didn't look like Alex Nedeljkovic. So if things go well, that just means he's leaning more into who he is. Coaching's going well. All those things are coming together. But still, I think ultimately you're playing.
You're saying it's a spot to Moneyball.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And it's again cap.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity to have Vasilevsky,
reasonable.
Yeah, if you can, you obviously sign him to a mortgage. But if you don't, sign him to a NFL running back deal. Get a couple of them who are pretty good. Reasonable contracts, and then you might have to cycle through them a little bit. But yeah, this is if you don't have Vasilevsky, this is pretty much as ideal as it gets for a cap sheet management and for team management to get 2 guys, my God, who are both like on the cusp of their primes for 2 reasonable contracts. I don't know how Yzerman keeps swindling the NHL, but he's done it yet again.
I do like what's going on in the comments right now. Sam Chutery is giving us his lineup, so I think, this will be a good transition. First line for Sam: Bert, Larks, and Raymond. That works. That was a great line last year. Second line: Veronica Kopp, Zadina. All right. We'll make adjustments. Third line: this is where we make the transition. Fabs, Perron, and Kubalik. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but I was going to use this whole conversation to come back to Kubalik, who I thought this came out of absolutely nowhere. I am a fan of this. We'll take a look here. A 78% projected worth. Your man's getting third line wing minutes. You've got some success on the power play again, and I think middling is fine. Even strength offense and defense. This is something for me that when you couple all these transactions together, this is where you start to think like, what's the next move, if I may? So Kubalik, I like it, right? Like, I don't think there's too much to dissect here, but the fact that this is an even easier salary to digest, an even easier expiration date on the contract to digest, and then you're getting some success on the power play, and this is a guy that can get those opportunities if we need it filled in. Again, we're trying to fill out 2 power play lines here. Maybe we're nickel and diming it here to fill it out. Maybe Kubalik had some opportunities based on the team he was playing with, and that's why the numbers look a little bit better. Again, these are on ice numbers,
Yeah,
so you got to take that into consideration. But still,
I have my buddy who's a big Blackhawk fan, and I was trying to figure out why the Blackhawks kind of gave up on him, and I guess he did get some time with Kaner, and they guess that his first year coming out hot, it was a little bit of a coattails situation, but I mean, now he's coming here, and he might be able to be on a couple of Red Wing coattails, so it might not be as bleak, for him here in Detroit. So, I mean, to take him on a, one of these Yzerman specialties on a Fabry no risk, high reward deal, seems pretty smart. I don't know if he's going to quite measure up to, I don't know, do you want to compare him to Puce? Another guy that we just kind of, we'll just take that while we're in the store. And Chicago's like, yeah, go ahead, take that. It's free. We don't care. I'm excited to see where this goes, and he's at least he had a 30-goal season coming out of the gate. I don't know if he's going to replicate that, but I don't mind taking a very small risk on a guy on the wing like that. I think this is a really cool move too.
I do like El Nasty. He might be getting a little too nasty later on in the comments, but he did ask Sam if he was getting a little high because he threw in Dave Chappelle on the 4th line. Like Dan B's comment here, this goes back to our goaltenders. Terry Sawchuk would have struggled playing behind that defense last year. Very true. There were some games, though, I think you could absolutely, and we talked about it, you could see like Nedeljkovic was getting worn out. I think we asked quite a bit out of Ned last season, and I think it'll be good for him to know going in, like you mentioned before, Mike, that it's not do or die. This whole team is physical, on your shoulders.
Yeah, it was physical and mental strain because when he wanted to blow, you couldn't do it because Greiss
got it.
Yeah,
sorry.
Because Greiss would immediately have to get pulled again, so it doesn't look like we're going to have that same issue this year. It should make him feel better physically and mentally, knowing he's not going to go snip snap, triple vasectomy back on the ice.
All right, I knocked my headset out of my ears, so I heard snip, snap, snip, snap.
And I also used the phrase triple vasectomy. Yep. So hopefully you didn't miss that, Matt.
Uh-oh. Wait. Oh, I also pulled. What were you saying? I pulled everything out of its socket, so it's.
Wow, I get to say it 3 times. I said snip, snap, and then triple vasectomy. That's the 3rd time I said triple vasectomy.
I think that adds up, though. That works.
I did get 3 of those. Feel pretty
literally
good.
Adds up.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting sweaty here because I'm wearing my Lucas Raymond jersey in the basement, and everybody knows I always have the light of God shining through my window down here. It is hot as hell. We also made the decision earlier.
Yeah, you look a little bit like what was that, Linus? Was that Linus in the Snoopy Christmas? Lights, please.
Yeah, I used to have a cardboard box down here that or I shouldn't say used to. For like 2 weeks, I had it down here, and I, of course, filled it up with all my Funko Pops and everything. So, there was a question coming from a Fife, and that's what caused me to drop my phone. But now I don't see his comment. Oh, Harley Fife wanted to know if there are any new signings. Pretty sure we're still stuck with everything we've talked about so far today. Did we miss any? We need to recap a little bit.
Yeah, there was that. Didn't we get Matt Luff?
Oh, yeah, I don't care about that. That's fine.
I think that was a 2-way signing, like for depth.
Yeah, we have 2 more 2-way signings that I did not make a slide for, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you right now. In regards to what we want this episode to be about, it was not going to be about those 2.
So Columbus did get Goudreau, but Matt, if you want to do the rundown one more time for Harley. I would do that because it is a pretty long list now.
Okay, so we'll start from the beginning here. We have our Andrew Copp was first one this morning, and then shortly thereafter we had Olli Maatta. And I don't know if we ever got an official tweet from the Red Wings because I don't have it up here on my slides. Ben Chiarot brought in. All right, we should probably recap, right? We're at the $4.75 million. Come on, move, you stupid slide. Dominik Kubalik comes in for a couple for 2.5. And David Perron, what was this? 4.75 as well for 2 years. And who we signed on draft day, Ville Husso, 3-year contract. And we're pretty happy with it.
Yeah. I guess the next question is how silly is it to think that this is a playoff team? Knowing how much impact it was just last season, adding 2 rookies, albeit 2 pretty amazing rookies, and now knowing that you actually have a second line and almost depth to have a real third line going into next season, Matt, do you feel like we have enough to maybe be a playoff team?
I think absolutely. To say that we have enough, I want to see. I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like, why do I need to be responsible? Like, why do I need to sit here and play this game of like, well, I want to see the team play before I give a solid yes or no. But I mean, to answer your question, do we have enough? Yes. I think we saw enough last year. And remember, this is another year without Verana. Like we didn't get full Verana. We've upgraded this defense. We might actually have a second power play unit. Again, since this show's been going on, this will be the first time. And this first line could probably still stick together, but I will say, the reason I'm so confident, Mike, is I think there's another huge move coming. I don't know where it's going to land. It might be on the defense. But I don't know. Like when you take a look at this, I'm not saying Kubalik has done enough in his career to earn something in the top 6, but you look at a Kubalik and Zadina on your third line, and I mean you just gave a new contract to Taro Hirose as I scroll down here. You just had a hell of a season, like Grand Rapids Griffin season, all-time season for Berggren. We're still trying to figure out what Joe Veleno is. I mean, we'll do it. I'm going to say it. Giovanni Smith on that list. No problem. Omer Soderblom, Mike, coming over to North America. We have all of these different options, and you've got a big contract in Tyler Bertuzzi that is most definitely getting shipped out of here and going somewhere else, and we're getting something juicy in return.
No.
I don't know if it's Tyler.
No.
I don't know if it's going to be Zadina. But I have a feeling there's a big move coming, and we're going to add to this defense. And all your question marks on Mr. Chiarot, I think will get answered because I think before the end of the season, maybe before the beginning, I think there's a good chance that left side is getting one more upgrade. Because again, like we talked about Jake Wallman, I mean, for a playoff team, he was disposable. He looked really good on our shit bag last year. Jordan Osterley. I think we had fun. We loved watching that overtime goal. But again, if we're playing this game, playoff team, the playoff team does not have a Jordan Osterley. I'm sorry. It's the truth. I'm sorry. I love you, Jordan. You're from Dearborn. You're our boy. We're both. Well, I guess he's from Dearborn Heights, so I don't have to care about him that much. But right? Like, we have an opportunity to still upgrade this team considerably. Unless we ran into Berger and just happens to be our Braden Point. Like, there's that possibility. But I think, yeah, we've Dan B. Can I throw this out there? Dan B's got it. Too many bodies, not enough chairs. Matt B thrown out there. Zadina for sure getting traded. Pucks and dreams. Matt B, I think you're right. Oh, my God. Impaler of Horizons can't afford to trade Bertuzzi after adding all this depth. I say,
yeah. I mean, we looked at it last year how that Larkin, Raymond, Bertuzzi line performed like what was it? One of the top 3 lines? Or are we going to just say top five top lines in the league? So I'm not like dying to trade Bertuzzi.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it would have to be like a
too.
complete, fleecing like the Verona trade was. But I don't know if I want to leap to trade Zadina because I still think he's going to be worth more to us than he will be to some other teams. So it would just be, picking up a 5th-round draft pick. I don't know if that really wets your noodle, turning a 1st-rounder into a 5th-rounder. But it could be something where you bundle a few of these guys and maybe see that the team is, making enough headway to be a playoff team, and maybe their 1st-round pick isn't as valuable as it might have been in past years. That's where bundling a few guys in draft picks.
Oh my God. I was gonna ask, could this be the year that we trade away some draft picks to bring on some talent mid-season?
I think it could be. But we gotta actually see him play. Yeah.
I want to come back to Impaler because I don't, the end of Mike's point, I don't need to trade away Bertuzzi. That was sort of tongue in cheek and fun, and sometimes I just like to ruffle feathers. I don't need to trade Bertuzzi. I do think there's a possibility that things don't go our way. We're really competitive this year, but maybe Ville Husso doesn't work out, and things don't look as shiny and chrome as it does look like we're moving in that direction. I think at that point, that's where you're playing that game of getting rid of them. But yeah, if you're in the playoff hunt, I'm not giving up on a playoff run just to move Tyler Bertuzzi so I don't have to worry about that 1-year contract. That's ridiculous. Like that, those are the problems you want. I think, if I had to put money on it, I think Bertuzzi lasts the whole year, and I think he moves on. Is that fair? Maybe nobody wants to hear that.
Maybe
we should move on because this isn't a happy topic. This is a happy day, and I made it sad. But I did want to bring up, like, there's all of this depth right now, and if you run into a Berggren, man, what if Soderblom comes over and he's like, "Hey guys, remember I played in an adult league and had like a point per game, and I basically just pushed everybody into the dirt and took a huge dump on everyone's face. Yeah, I'm gonna come do that in the NHL too. If that happens." What are you gonna do with this roster? These guys are gonna have to move out of here. Somebody will, and you don't.
I can't wait for that guy.
I can't wait for these problems.
Yeah, I think that's again the most important thing is that it's not just depth. It's not just icing a team. These are good players, and we're creating so many like enviable problems to have where you want room for your prospects, but you kind of have to wait for somebody to get hurt or traded. Not, this guy is so terrible. We'll just have him, put him on waivers and then call him up. And Derek 1300 saying, man, I'm so tired of hearing Tyler Bertuzzi trades. I am too, but then, we'll do a game where we go on the road to Canada. And I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember why I was talking about these.
Well, even beyond that, like it is just the reality, right? Like, do you put yourself in the tough situation of Bertuzzi will be getting that new contract at 28? Is that for sure the lengthy contract? And of course, the more expensive one than 4.75. Is this the guy that you want to pay this out to? And I think that's a fair question. And are you going to be at that point? Do you want to get to that point and get something for it, or do you let him walk? If that's his choice. I just think it's a fair question. I hear what you're saying, Derek, but I will say I'll pick on anybody on this team except for probably Dylan, Mo Seider, and Lucas Raymond at this point. I think even a Verona at this point is going to be thrown into that conversation. I mean, if we get another early injury here for Verona, not that makes him any easier to move, but I mean,
yeah, you're not a reliable player if you're not on the ice.
Yeah, and those are all fair things to bring up. I think I'm trying to be as fair as possible. And any team that has the 1-year contract left, I mean, the Colorado Avalanche were playing that game with Landeskog. Obviously, they kept him. They just won a cup. But if you think they weren't asking the question, and clearly they made a point that it was a question they were asking with the offseason before, I think it's okay to ask with Tyler. That's all, Derek. I know what you're saying. I'm just. We could have the same conversation with Dylan, to be completely honest. I just think you're talking more. You've got a C on that chest, and I guess that's where that. I guess I'm explaining myself as to why that's going on. Michael Scripp, enough of the Bertuzzi trade talk. You know what? Just for that, here's who I'm top 10 guys I want to trade.
Bless
I'm
America.
just kidding.
No, don't do that, please.
Just see the numbers plummet. Josh Billings, is Bert a core player? I think so. I think he is right now, but I think my core right now, moving forward past this season, absolutely, like 100%, 100% is Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, and Moritz Seider. I can't justifiably put anybody else on my for sure core list besides those three.
A few more games of Bert putting the whole team on his back with a 4-goal bomb. It'll turn you right around, man. You'll be back.
I'll be happy.
You'll come crawling back.
I'll be happy.
No, I think, Matt, what you're trying to say is it's just a tough decision, just based on a few things. But
could that be what we land on? Like Dylan Larkin, easy decision. Moritz Seider, of course, easy decision. Lucas Raymond, easy decision. Tyler Bertuzzi, I think there's a question mark attached to it.
But let's harp on what today's all about, and it's adding depth. And when you looked at this cap friendly, and you had to scroll down to get to all of our prospects who are yet to come up, that's what today's about. I mean, that we're not, desperately, just cursing the gods that we don't have Fabry back. That Berggren he better make the team. It's like, it'd be nice if he made the team if he's not ready. I mean, we got guys up here already who could, probably win us a few games. Or are you highlighting a little Pontius action there, Matt?
Yeah, I am. I completely forgot about Pontius to be honest with you. But I mean, that's another huge name too. Like now, there's no pressure on these guys. Now there's opportunities to learn and grow with the Griffins, and I think Pontius is a great name to point to along with Berggren. But holy crap, did I completely forget about Pontius? Oh my god. I just got so much more excited for this season to come up.
I do have a question though. On this sheet, it says Elmer Soderblom is only 6'6". I swear he's 6'9".
This is incorrect.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's pause here. I was gonna say 6'8".
I got him at 6'8" over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6'8".
All right. Well, he's like Undertaker and Kane, where he's really like 6'6". And they bill him at 7'5", 500 pounds. He's turning into Danhausen. Yeah,
Pucks and Dreams at 6'8".
Okay.
All right. We got Mike. You have 4 more minutes, so I think we got to wrap up here. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. If you do have a second, please hit that like button for us. Even if you hate me for mentioning Tyler Bertuzzi getting traded.
Oh, he did it again. Damn it!
Sorry. I know. I'm a bastard. I'm a horrible person. I apologize. Tyler Bertuzzi for life. Give him an 8-year, $12 million deal. Let's do it.
I can't sign fast enough. I'm in.
I mean, it is one of, it's, I shouldn't do it again. All right. I'm not going to.
You've done it again.
All right.
Yeah.
Dom Luszczyszyn said, he's got him rated as like elite. So you have to pay him that way. Do you think he is that like, that means you're saying he stays the course and plays like that? So I'm not as confident.
He's pretty good. I
know. I'm not saying he's bad. All right. Everybody's signing off. We're losing viewers. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I do want to call out Impaler. Thank you for coming aboard. I have an Alan Savage here coming in late. Congrats on Perron. Guy's a warrior. Alan, thanks for coming aboard. I love this. Dirty beef curtains. I like the guys brought in today. Perron over Gagne, Chiarot over Stahl, and DeKaiser. We'll put Maatta on top of DeKaiser there. Dirty Beef coming in with some great summaries here. This is a happy day.
We drastically upgraded, almost 40% of the roster, drastically upgraded.
It's a good day. Good day for us. Good day for Red Wings fans. Good day for Red Wings Rant. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Again, if you have a second, hit that like button. We would appreciate on Spotify. You can find us. Let us know what you think. Of course, you can rate us and review. And then on Apple Podcasts, subscribe, rate, and review. You guys aren't going to miss an episode. And you can find our shop at bodpodcast.com, and you'll see the shop button. Or if you find us on Twitter, we have the links to the shop as well if you guys want to show off all your Red Wings Rant swag. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. Congratulations to our new boys, our new Detroit Red Wings. Another successful day for Steve Yzerman. And guys, got to tell you, love y'all for tuning in. This was an absolute blast, and we will see you guys
No more
next
92
week.
losses. Yay! We did it! Yes! We seized the day! Yes!
Have a good one, guys.
So long, Thomas Grice! Huzzah!